Welcome to episode 39 of the 200 Movie Challenge. 11 months in, and if you don't know what's going on by now, yeah, we're watching 200 movies that we've never seen this year. I keep repeating myself, but you know what? For the random 5 to 10 people that actually watched the beginning, that's what we're doing. And we just talk about the movies that we saw, why we saw them, and we just keep on trucking along. But Soto, we got
Yes.
4 movies to talk about today. And because I watched 2, I'm going to get to my 100th movie. I've watched 100
Wow.
movies this year. Now,
Before Thanksgiving.
before Thanksgiving, now mind you, we're only at 183 because we had seen some movies that both of us seen, so that keeps the number down. At the end of this will be at 183, so we're still on very good pace. But I'm going to start things off, and because I usually start things off with you, Soto. Again, this gets hard. And by that I mean sometimes you just try and find something to watch, something different, something free. And, you know, kind of like the good old video store days when you're, instead of going through like all the movie covers, I'm just looking at Netflix, Tubi, Peacock, Disney, all these things, and just looking at, movie pictures like, what the hell am I even in the mood for? Because we just came out of spooky season. I know we watch horror movies all year round, but so I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a movie to watch. Like, what do I want my first movie to be? And I don't know why this one called to me, and maybe just because I've seen the original. But do you remember, Soto, way back in 2001, a little movie called Ocean's 11? Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you? What?
I watched it.
Did you enjoy it? I mean, I don't know how much you remember of it, but was it? To me, it
Yeah,
was the
it's good.
definition of a popcorn flick.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was George Clooney. Brad Pitt was in it. Brad Pitt was like eating the whole movie and stuff. Um, yeah, I watched it. It was fine. It
Yeah.
had a twist in the end, if I recall.
Well, these kind of caper movies do, and it, because it was a
Paper
remake of
movie.
like
Thank
a
you.
the Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Ocean's 11. But yeah, like you said, Clooney, it's got Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Julia Roberts, Andy Garcia. Just it had a huge cast, and Don Cheadle, and I'm probably missing a few others that I can't think of off the top of the head. But it was a fun movie. They got a bunch of big name actors at that time together, and just it was a typical heist movie. Nothing wrong. Like you said, it didn't reinvent the wheel. It gave us a fun little twist. It's just hard not to enjoy the chemistry that the main few have between, Pitt and Clooney and Damon. That's what I kind of remember. I just remember, like I said, it was a fun movie. I can't really tell you many scenes from it, but I just remember, like, yeah, I did like it. So I say that because about 5 years ago, 2018, they made an Ocean's 8. And my wife asked
Oh,
when I said I was watching this, she's like, is this a prequel? And I said, no. This is actually technically a sequel, but it involves no one that we just talked about because this is kind of like the all women's crew. They changed things up a little bit. Now, the star is Sandra Bullock, who actually plays um, George Clooney's little sister. I think her name, I'm trying to find, yeah, like Debbie or what's her name in this movie? I'm trying to look this up real quick. I already lost. Yeah, Debbie, Deborah, Deb, blah blah blah. She stars in this, but yeah, she's the little sister. Now there is no link outside of that, and it also has Kate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Helena Bonham
oh,
Carter, Mindy Kaling, Dakota Fanning. So again, Rihanna. So kind of like the Ocean's 11, they just got a lot of big stars, and it's the same vibe. Now, little differences. Um, Sandra Bullock, she, has spent like, I would say, I think it's like 5 years in jail, and she's just getting out of jail. She was put there because someone she was seeing set her up. They were like kind of doing this little, money gig together, and he basically sold her out. She didn't give up on anyone, or sold anyone else out, but she did go to jail. But she gets out, and she's been planning this heist of like this $150 million jewel the whole time she was there. So kind of like the first one, she gets like her friends together, figure it out, blah blah blah. So no, this is pretty much the same. I mean, it was kind of cool seeing all these, stars together again because I honestly didn't look at. I knew Sandra Bullock was in this, but I kind of forgot the rest of the
yeah.
cast. And then I'm like, oh, that's Helena Bonham Carter. I like her. Oh, Anne Hathaway. I've seen a few movies of her this year. Um, and they even tease in a way Danny Ocean, George Clooney's character, because she goes to the cemetery and he may or may not be dead, but his name's there in a grave. And then they actually have a couple of the lesser known characters, like Carl Reiner appears in this movie, and he even
Okay.
asks her, he's like, is Danny really dead? And she's just like, you know what? I don't even know. So they kind of, it's like an
Okay.
in joke that throughout, like maybe this is all just whatever. No, George, spoilers. George Clooney's not in this movie. Um, so I don't know
But
why
he
they.
may be in the future.
But again, brother
Okay.
sister, I'm just like, why bring this up? He could have just been anywhere else. But anyhow, but yeah, so the whole idea kind of similar because I think Ocean's 11 they're trying to rob a casino and do like one big heist at the same time, like distraction here, but they're really going here. Um, but yeah, so basically they're trying to get this $150 million jewel from this museum necklace, and basically the Anne Hathaway plays like a famous actress, and now she's not part of like the thief group. They're just using her because obviously all the famous actors and actresses are in there, and like, hey, we'll
Okay.
get the jewels on her, and then we'll swipe it. We have all this planned. Oh no, something went wrong. It has a magnetic unlock. We got to figure. So this didn't reinvent the wheel. Without it was entertaining. Some parts just seeing all of them together. The story overall, I kind of got bored, and I've said this about a few movies we've seen. It's just you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all, and that's how I felt about this. You knew, okay, this is probably going to happen. Yep, and like you said it, like the big twist. You're like, okay, what's the big twist at the end? Something's coming up, and sure enough, they did. But
You're
overall,
waiting for
you're waiting for it because it's what these movies
it.
are. It's what the.
Yeah.
But I will also say this movie did have a lot of great actresses, and do not get me wrong, I'm a big fan of a lot of them. They've made a lot of great movies. Like I said, we've talked about some of them this year, but there was a chemistry that Ocean's 11 cast had that yes, I can't maybe remember because hell, it's like 25 years ago almost. But I
Yeah.
think that's why I kind of enjoyed it because again, even with Ocean's 12 and 13, yeah, you're like this is the same thing, but hell, it's Clooney, Pitt, and Damon, and all the now they're adding this person, now they're adding this person, so I think the chemistry of that is the reason why we remember fondly to a point Ocean's 11. It's not like we said, it's not a great film. People will not put this on their top 10 list, but everyone will be
No.
like, "Yeah, it was a fun movie. It wasn't bad. We enjoyed it." Whereas this, I just felt like I don't know. It was kind of just a rehash of a lot of things, which is kind of sad with the talent that was involved. Because a part of me, I guess, should have expected this because it is an Ocean's movie, and this is what they do. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
Um, but I just felt like maybe they could have gone in a different direction, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you what the direction is. I just felt like them together wasn't as believable or as fun as I don't want to say the original, but the Ocean's 11 crew. So again, I enjoy it? Yeah, it had some parts, but overall, it was just this is going to be forgettable to me. Where Ocean's 11 kind of might stay with a little bit, just like again the chemistry, and I kind of remember, like I said, the casino and this and that. This is just like, eh. And yeah, there's a reason why there's no Ocean's 9 or 10, whatever technically would be the next one if they were to do it, if they ever revamp this. But yeah, I was kind of sad. I don't know what I was expecting though. I should have expected pretty much the same. I mean, I think it did well. I'm looking right now; it grossed almost 300 million. So obviously, people went out to see it, probably because of the stars involved. But overall, Soto,
It's gonna
yeah, I again, I'm not going to say it's the worst thing I've watched, but I'm not going back to watch this again. Whereas, even like I said, Ocean's 11, it was on. I had nothing else to watch. I would keep it on. But this one, it is forgettable. Which again, I know I said it. It's kind of sad because there's a lot of great actresses. I love Helen and Bonham Carter, and I'm sure you love a lot of these too. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know, but that's how I felt. I guess
Okay.
I don't know what I was expecting going in. I guess I again kind of like the first one, maybe something fun, but yeah, I don't want to say I checked out. It just like it felt very unoriginal. Nothing surprised me, um, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But the question that we do, as we do
What's
when
the
we get
question?
to this part, where do I put this on my overall ranking? I will tell you,
Ocean.
it's going towards the bottom half.
Well, you have a bottom half now officially.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, technically, there's always a bottom half. It just changes. When we had 20 movies, it's just like, yeah, just 10 are the bottom half. Yeah, but um, I'm feeling I'm in the 60s, and I think it's going to go here because that's going to go right above another movie I was kind of disappointed in. So I'm going to put this at number 68, which is right above Muppets Haunted Mansion, but underneath The Hunt. I feel like
The
this is good.
Hunt.
The Hunt. Do you remember The Hunt?
Yes, I kind of do.
I know, which is funny. Whenever we do a recap, I know we're not going to recap every movie we did, but
Hell
it's gonna
no.
be hilarious because I started creating like all the pictures. You know, I have to get these little videos ready just to play in the background
Mhm.
for us. Um,
Right.
and it's just going back. But anyhow, yeah, no, this is kind of the area where I think it's just I expected more, but I got disappointment because if you look, it's like Ocean's 8, Muppets Haunted Mansion, Jay and Silent Bob reboot. You go above The Hunt, Twisters, Teenage, you know, so it's like this is where the disappointment. Like I think I expected more, and I probably shouldn't have with this. But like I said again, you know, just knowing that big women's cast, I'm like, all right, let's just see what they do. And they did much of the same. You know, I don't know. I should have expected that, but yeah, 68. As usual, this can go up and down, but right now this is kind of the area where I'm feeling Soto. So
68.
68,
Okay.
pretty freaking hilarious. I'm ranking a movie at 68. Again, this whole thing is like funny to me sometimes. So
Well, I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to this list forever because I'm gonna be like, oh, that one time I watched 100 movies
yeah,
and then I ranked them, which I have never done in my whole life. This is the first time I've done top 10 rankings, but I've never done like 100 movies. Watch 100 movies and tell me how they all rank.
yeah.
That's what we've done.
That's what we. I will tell you this, Soto. I doubt we're ever going to do this again. Not to this. You know, maybe for remembrance, you know, maybe one day we'll sit down and just be like, all right, wait, this and that, but not to this extent. So, but yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna because where are you at? You're at 90 movies right now, so you should definitely hit 100 by the end of the year. Depends when we get to movie
like if
200.
somebody pays me to do this, like, and they're like,
That's a
"Hey, this
different
is your job,"
story.
I'll do it. I'll do it. And if you're listening, Panda Express, and you want to, you want to get a sponsor, talk to me. But um, if somebody pays me to do it, I'll watch another 100 movies. I won't do it for free though. Not again.
No, but we'll go back to watching movies normally, just like even some of the ones we have seen
Yeah,
and just enjoy it. But you know, every now and then we'll
right.
see a new movie. I just think putting in 100 or I mean whatever
The
because
fucking movies I've never seen. Because even Blockbuster, like, yeah, I did rent 7 movies a week, but sometimes I rented movies I've seen. That I want to see again.
yeah,
I wasn't like just getting 7 movies I've never seen. Like, and sometimes there are some video games in there. So yeah, this has been quite a journey.
yeah. Or we go to our collection DVDs, VHS way back then, and just be like, I'm gonna watch this now. So anyhow,
Yeah.
before we reminisce more about the Blockbuster and the physical copy days, let's get to your first movie because I think your
Yeah.
text about this was pretty interesting because you told me the movie you saw, and I think basically this is how we named our Saturday podcast. You know, you're like, I have thoughts.
Yeah.
So, don't
Mhm.
tell me about your thoughts on this. I almost ruined the title. Tell me your thoughts
So,
about your
so,
first movie.
uh, so you mentioned just a few minutes ago something about watching movies for fun, and how fun it is to watch movies.
Mm,
Um, so I'll go ahead. So the movie that I saw is the movie The Substance. This movie got a lot of hype. It was recommended to me by a good friend of mine. Um, he had actually said that when the movie was over, he stood up in the theater and started clapping. So that's intriguing, right? And I'd seen some stuff about it. I was like, okay. I'd heard that it was getting a lot of good buzz, and it eventually came out to HBO, and I decided to give it a shot. Now, I'm going to preface this before I talk about it. I am not into body horror. Okay? Do you understand what I mean by body horror? We talked about this a little bit on
we talked
Saturday,
about
but
this in this past podcast.
yeah,
Yeah, you asked me. We
I am
didn't
not
go.
into body
Yeah,
horror. I'm not into it. It's not my thing. I don't enjoy watching body horror. It elicits a very visceral reaction to me, and I guess that ultimately that's, I guess, the point of a movie. Like, if a movie makes you feel a certain way against your control, then that's a success, right? Um, but I didn't enjoy Terrifier. I've talked about Terrifier. I don't enjoy Terrifier. I don't know who these movies are for. I do, but I don't like really. I don't know who's asking for these like ridiculous displays of violence and everything like that. It's not for me. So the plot of The Substance, it revolves around. So Demi Moore is plays the main character, and she's 50, and women when they get older, our society when they get older, they kind of devalue women, right? And so she's being fired from her TV show that's been running because they're going with like they want to hire a younger version. Okay, so she ends up getting into a car accident, and in the car, while she's at the doctor being checked out, a young nurse, like when the doctor leaves, a young male nurse kind of gives her this like little flash drive, and says, "This changed my life." And then when she goes home and she's sad and she's thinking about her life, she plugs in this little like USB thing into her TV, and it's a commercial for this thing called The Substance, and about trying to recover, being young again and all this stuff, and all this. She thinks it's a scam. She throws it away, and then another thing occurs in her life, because obviously you've seen movies like this. Her life is going into the shitter basically, and so she's left to, find out, okay, what's this substance all about? So she calls the number on there. She's given an address, and she shows up in like some back alley somewhere that you would never think there's like a lab there or anything like that. And she picks up, she's given a key card, and she goes into like a safety deposit box, like in a random place, and she gets all her materials for the substance, and it comes with instructions and directions and everything like that. So what begins to follow is, we talk about movies setting up rules all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't feed the gremlins after midnight. Don't get them wet. Like all these things. So you're an expert on movies. You can say that. Like,
Can I?
so Chad,
Oh,
I
yes, I
ask you,
could. Okay. Go ahead, ask it
I
away.
ask you, I ask you a question, right? When a movie has a set of rules that are explained explicitly to the audience and the main character, what do you think the next thing happens to those rules? Do you think the main character follows those rules, or do you think that there's option two?
Well, I'm going to assume that you're talking about the character and not the director. So if that's the case, the character
Yeah,
always breaks the
right.
rules. I was going to say, when a
Correct.
director in the movie breaks the rules, I'm like, you just broken our trust. But yes, all the time, the character breaks the rules for one reason or another.
Yeah, you're set up, you're given instructions, you're saying this is how the substance is going to work. You need to adhere to these rules, or there are going to be consequences, undefined consequences, right? So you've seen that kind of a movie all the time.
Correct.
Um, the movie is done. It's directed extremely well. I don't want to say that there are parts that are over directed, because I don't really understand what that term means, so I don't really feel comfortable like committing to it. I just think that there were scenes where I'm like, did it need to be that way? So the movie is like shot well, it's done well. It's just, as the story unfolds and things get worse and worse, as you can imagine in this situation, right? Because there's always a catch, another movie thing. As things start to devolve, and there starts to be like this kind of horrifying back and forth between herself and her younger self. I won't get into the details because it's pretty grotesque, but the whole rule that they keep saying is that always remember that you are this person. This person is not against you. You are this person. You are the young person. You are the older person. You need to keep that in mind. And you need to switch every 7 days. You need to switch your bodies every 7 days without exception.
Okay.
So, as the rules continue to be broken, because it spirals in this thing of, I've got to stay young, because then the young version starts getting more opportunities, and then they it's inconvenient to switch, right? hey, we need you to do this thing, blah blah. Well, I'm going to be away next week because they don't know that you're switching bodies, but you have to switch. So that tension is there, and then of course she makes a series of decisions that just make things go way off the fucking rails. Things get really fucking disgusting in this movie. So that's why I'm like, body horror is just not my thing because this movie is done really well. That's a problem because it looks really realistic when these disgusting things occur. And the way this movie fucking ends, like the last like 10 minutes is the one of the most unhinged, disgusting, violent things that I have seen in a movie in a long time. It's fucking gross. Okay? And it is like, but at the same time, like cinematic as fuck. Really well done. Like great direction. If I thought it was probably a little bit stylistic at certain points, like I mentioned. Great direction, well done. The story makes sense, the themes make sense, but it is just, this is a brutal movie to have to sit through. And it does not go into a good place. It goes into bad places and then it ends in a crescendo of just disgusting shit. Literally? Maybe. Bodily fluids for sure though. And that's not my thing. Great movie. But very, very much like Eraserhead, like when I watched earlier this year, I love David Lynch. David Lynch is one of my favorite directors. Eraserhead, and I probably, if I go back and listen to that podcast, I'm probably having the same kind of reaction. Visceral reaction, disgusting. I understand that what I'm looking at is crafted by an artist, but I just like I cannot stand looking at disgusting shit like that. I can't do it. So I kind of had the same vibes of Eraserhead. Although Eraserhead was a little bit more terrifying, but I kind of had those same vibes where I knew I was watching something really good, but I would never want to watch this again, and I would never show it to anybody. I would recommend, if you are into body horror and you're okay with that, and you could separate yourself from that. I feel like I connected a little bit too much to the movies that I watch, where if something like that is happening, like if a main character is like, you know, jabbing something into their eyeball, like I feel that viscerally when I watch that. Like I feel like it's my eyeball that's being like the screwdriver is going, right?
Yeah.
And so I can't, like, I'm way too sensitive to watch movies like this. But I also can objectively understand when I'm looking at a movie that is done very well. And that's what The Substance was.
Yeah, just listening to some parts, especially when you got the bodily fluids. It's grossing me out. I'm just thinking
Yeah,
the worst because that's the worst part. You're in your own head sometimes, and
you don't even fucking know.
I don't want to
Is what I
know.
want.
I don't want
You
to
don't
know.
even fucking know. You can't even imagine how this fucking movie, like where it goes and the disgusting shit that occurs. You can't even imagine it. You probably could if you're like, well, I've seen Terrifier. It's like, yeah, okay, you've seen some shit. But some shit happens here that is goddamn gross. And it happens because, I mean, the main character was warned, right?
Follow the rules.
Always warned. All the fucking rules, but then shit happens, right? In a screenplay. Like, you know, yeah, this is what was going on. And then but then this happened. And it changed, like, right? It's like you've seen that video with Trey Parker and Matt Stone where they're talking about how they construct stories. It's like you construct a story and you're like, and then this happened. But then this happened. They were doing this, but then this fucking thing happened and it changed everything. And then now they have to deal with problems. And in that way, The Substance was done. It was done great. Great movie. I would never watch it again.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But the question, Soto,
Yeah.
on your mind as we talked earlier, trying to rank this because this is now your 91st movie as you inch your way to the movie 100. Where's this disgusting movie that might have been done a little well? Something you ain't gonna watch again. Where are you putting this?
Yeah, it's a top 20 movie.
Ooh, okay, sure. Whoa. I don't think I was expecting that, but okay.
It is because objectively, I know this is a good movie. I just can't. I'm too much of a bitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like I could not like I don't like this stuff. I don't. call me old fashioned. You know what I mean? I'm an old fashioned kind of a guy. This kind of level of grotesque violence is not my thing. I can understand how violence can be art though when I watch a movie, and I can understand when it's well done. And so that's why, for me, I feel like 18 is the place for this, like, so right above Terrifier 2, and below Hell or High Water. I think that that's a good place where it's like, this is a horrifying movie that I will never watch again, but so is Terrifier 2.
That is very much an interesting back to back. Right there. 18.
Dude. And if you asked me which one I would rather watch, I'd rather watch The Substance.
Okay.
Terrifier 2 is just like, it's like violence for violence sake, where in The Substance it was serving the story.
That's understandable. I can see that. And the thing, yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it now. Terrifiers and all that stuff, but sometimes violence for violence sake does not always work. But number 19 or 18.
All I would say, Chad, is mutations. Okay, mutations.
Mutations. Got it.
There you go.
I'm not going to go see this movie. I don't plan on seeing this movie.
You're like, this is a no-go for me.
At the moment,
Don't.
One day, if it's there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I gotta see what Soto is talking about. I'm gonna subject myself to this, and then we'll talk about this on a future podcast. Not a movie podcast, just a regular two friends catching up podcast. But yeah, no, I'm not rushing out to see this one.
No, don't do it. Just don't.
But Soto, let me change the mood a little bit. First of all, I'm about to talk about my 100th film. Now, I can't stop because we need to get to 200 films because remember, we've seen some of the same. And for people who are actually listening to this, so though I've seen 100, the goal is not over yet. We are getting close. I do want you to get to 100 yourself, which you should, because after this, if in 4 weeks, if you do 2 a week, you're there. And we should hopefully be at 200. But anyhow, so I looked at my overall list, and I realized I haven't laughed a lot. I was like, where's some of the comedies? Yeah, there's been some fun movies, some comedy actions. I'm like, I need a comedy. Yeah, I saw Happy Gilmore 2, which filled me with a little nostalgic laughter, but overall, we both agree, like, it wasn't as good as the first. It was kind of disappointing in some parts, and yeah, there's other ones, that I saw, which, again, got a few laughs, but I'm like, I need a comedy. We're coming out of the horror month, and, I don't know the last time I've watched a comedy, and some of them have really swung and missed. And I've seen this thumbnail for God knows how many months. This has been on my radar. I'm like, you know what? This sounds like a movie I should watch. And just from the title alone, I knew nothing about it, but the title spoke to me. And that movie was Old Dads.
I did not even see that this was an option on there. So,
and I was just like, I'm an old dad. I gotta kind of see, this is.
You are.
I think when they originally, it was up there and Netflix was promoting it. Now, first of all, this stars and is directed by Bill Burr. So I'm telling you this because I guess if you aren't a fan of his comedy or his style, this may not be for you. But the funny thing about it is, because he's hit or miss for me sometimes. There's things I'm like, yeah, I laugh. And there's other things like, yeah. So I'm not, that's how I feel about him as a comedian. But Soto, we're at the age now where these characters are. And the way they look at society and today's generation is friggin' hilarious. Because that's how we feel. Now, don't get me wrong. They kind of push the Gen X a little bit. Like, they're a little above what we do. Like, I know we say some shit and stuff like that, but they're talking like, okay, maybe what this movie does well is it makes fun of all generations and even makes them realize, okay, maybe this is a little too much. So, first of all, before I even get to the, it's 3 friends, and yes, 2 of them are dads. One's a dad to be, he excellent. And the whole thing is they started a company together and they are selling it. They're kind of cashing out, but they're still going to kind of work for the company to make a little extra money. And they're doing like throwback jerseys. Like it's a very sports thing. And they end up selling it to a, group who are looking very 20-some, very Gen Alpha, what are the new generations is and stuff like that. So it's them also trying to fit in with like kids these days. And so it starts off, they sell it out, and the new guys, they're basically half their age, being their boss, and it doesn't feel right. And so Bill Burr goes, he has to go pick up his son from kindergarten, and he's yelling at everyone, mouthing off at everyone, just in traffic, mind you. Like if someone's on a scooter and just kind of whizzes by his car and then goes through a stop sign, it's like, basically, so if you saw a man in a scooter, one of those little motor scooters, basically, like Segway,
like
almost
kind of a
thing? I guess I would call them a Segway. He calls them a scooter, but so they're scooter, but they're motorized.
Once you stand up.
Yeah,
I've seen them. I see them all the time.
And then if if you saw one going through a stop sign, like on the street, what would your thought be?
Yeah.
Honestly, what would your thought be? Like if he doesn't obey the stop sign, he just flies through because he's on a scooter.
I'd probably be like, "Wow, it must be nice to not follow the rules." And then secondly, like that guy's gonna die.
Well, that's pretty much close to what Bill Burr said. But yes, he's like, must be nice to be on a scooter and not obey the laws of traffic that the rest of us have to obey. He kind of goes in that route. So
when I'm driving, that's what I think. I'm like, oh, it must be fucking nice to be the one who gets to just do whatever, to be free.
So see, we are gonna really see ourselves in these dads now to an extent. I'm going to say that. But anyhow, he's going to pick up his son, and he's trying to park, but the whole parking lot's full. And there's certain parts that you're not allowed to park in, obviously, they say. And he's like, F it, I'm just going to do it. And he goes in, and the woman teacher, kindergarten teacher, whatever it might be, he's like, excuse me, you're late. He's like, yeah, I couldn't find parking. He goes find his son. Dad, yay, happy hug. She's like, sir, you're 5 minutes late. He's like, yeah, I couldn't find parking. I'm sorry. Well, did you read the handbook? And this isn't previous, and he's just like, yeah, I read it. And she's like, well, then it's $1 a minute every time you're late. He's like, I couldn't find parking. And then he's like, fine, whatever. And he hands her like money, and she's like, no. First violation's free. So basically, everyone's just getting on his nerves, which again, we probably can understand.
Yes.
But that's this whole movie. So basically, yes, he mouths off at people. Basically, like he'll take that extra step where me and you are like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't. We'll take the high road. And he basically goes off on her. He's like, yeah, if you knew this, why didn't you just tell me this in the beginning? Blah blah blah. And and then he says the C word, and then obviously that creates a little uproar there. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday.
Okay, I thought and then what happens, so his wife, because now she's pregnant with their second child, and, it's a private school, so she wants a good letter of recommendation for their preschooler kid, because this woman can give, so he goes to apologize, and she's like, no, hold on. And she brings him, and like every kid and every kid's parents are just there outside. And she makes him kind of apologize in front of everyone and this and that. And then this is where, again, now we're going to understand what this guy's going through. One woman's like, I wasn't even there. And I was just offended. The fact that, this society has to be around and they hear the C word. The C word is as bad as the N word. And so we know these kind of, oh, no. I'm going to leave it at that. Oh my God. But that's in this movie. But you know what I mean? Just people who just think because even they're there, they got to bitch about everything. So, yeah, they're going through, they just do not understand the way today society can, like his kid trips and falls and he got a bruise. He's kind of crying, rub some dirt on it. And the kid actually starts rubbing dirt on it. And I'm laughing my fucking ass off. Like, yeah, he's trying. And then another kid comes, pushes his kid over, and he goes to yell at the kid. He's like, no, say you're sorry. And that's all he's asking. He's like, just say you're sorry. You pushed him. And then he's throwing a temper tantrum. He's like, whoa, settle down. And the mom comes over. He's like, no, we allow these feelings to come out. He needs to be able to express. So where this movie's going, Seto. But again, there's an extent to where, like, all right, there's a line that even we went across that he will cross. And if you see any of his stand-up, you know what he's like.
So, always stand up, yeah.
Yeah, it is very relatable, but in a point, as the movie goes on, he does realize, like, okay, maybe he's part of the problem. Like, he needs to come halfway. He's like, yeah, but these kids, and what they're doing and stuff like that. But Soto, I laughed. This is just a fun movie. I don't know where it stands in the test of time. Like, I don't know if this is something like 5, 10 years from now. Like, dude, do you remember Old Dads? Yeah, that was hilarious. But in the moment, I was kind of enjoying it. But again, you have to like Bill Burr. I mean, if you're not a Bill Burr fan, or basically anyone that finds him repulsive, like, this movie's not for you. I'll say that right
Yeah.
now. Or if you can't take the joke. Because again, this doesn't way make fun of everyone, but it does make fun of the way society is right now with kids and being soft and this and that, and just adults thinking they have the rights, um, just because it's their space. And yes, Soto, by the way, towards the end of the movie, the scooter guy does run a stop sign and gets slammed in by a car, so he's not dead, but it makes you feel
I
good
mean,
in the moment.
that's the first thing that I think about. Like when I think about these people on scooters, I'm like, wow, I could never be that free. Like I would be like, that's not the life for me. But I'm glad that I was able to predict that. That's exactly what I would think would happen.
But again, in our car, we'd be yelling like, "You, it must be great," just you think you own the road, this and that, saying whatever. Obviously,
I really
also,
do though.
none of them are politically correct, obviously. So, real quick, because again, going to like the differences today. So they're going on a trip for their company to find this guy because it's going to be this new commercial promotional thing that they're doing, blah blah blah. None of that's very important, but they get a rental car, so it's three of them and a young guy at the office, and they're kind of egging him on because he's like, they're talking to each other. They're like, I would never say those kind of words. I would never say the N word. And one of the dads is black, and he looks at him like, really? Not in the private? See, no, I could never do it. He's like, do you listen to rap? And he's like, oh, who are some of your favorite rap artists? And then he goes through. And he's like, oh, so you listen to the NWA? He's like, when you sing it, and he's like, yeah, I sing it. What do you do when they say the N word? And obviously, so it's like they're provoking this kid. So he's
Right.
like, it's like I just, and they're like, it's okay, I give you a pass. Sing, play the song, play. And so they're playing the song. He's like, come on, sing it, So, but what happens is rental car company is video, because obviously there's a videotape of all this happening, and they get fired because this videotape got leaked. They said, oh yeah, because they got into a car accident, obviously for story reasons, and they're like, oh yeah, no, car's insured, oh that's fine, but there's no insurance for this stuff. And they're kind of watching all this, like, yeah, we gotta let you go. You had this in your clause, a morality clause, and like, what the fuck's a morality clause? So
Wow.
you see what, again, that's where it's all at. And so he's like, how can you get fired for a private video that we didn't even know were being recorded? We weren't even company car. Um, but dude, it's hilarious. And yeah, some of it does get old, and it does get a little repetitive towards the end, but it just, you can just laugh at the way a lot of people are, or way, and I hate to say it, a lot of the way new parents are. I'm sorry, you know who you are. You tell your kid to rub some dirt on it, you're one of us. You're one of the strong ones. It's okay. But yeah, that's the way I saw it. So I mean, if you ever see this, you're gonna look at the Bill Burr character and like, yeah, that's me. I'm just angry at the world sometimes. Fuck them all. They deserve this. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's how I feel. I do feel that way. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm trying to get a handle on that, but it's an angry time to be alive.
it is. It is. And sometimes we gotta let our frustrations out some way. Maybe not like the little kid did and just yelling in the middle of everything. But yeah, yelling at people in the comfort of our own car is one thing. But yeah, it's okay. So it's okay to be angry at the world sometimes, or around some of the people. So anyhow,
But yes.
I'm kind of looking at my list, trying to figure out where I'm going to put this. Oh, this
Old
gets
dad.
old dads. Old dad.
I have to check where the Ron Clark story is. I always have to.
Oh, don't worry, it's going above
There
the
it
Ron
is.
Clark story. I think. Hold on, 60.
See,
Ron
number
Clark story is
60 is
60.
the
So not the old dads isn't 60. Um,
that's the Ron Clark. It's going to be called the Ron Clark one from now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely above it. Yeah, no, we're not below the. Unfortunately, my first movie fell below the Ron Clark line, as you like to say.
That's my favorite part about your list. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's just nonsensical, but it gives me such a chuckle.
I feel
To be
like this would be kind of compared in good area with this movie, but it's gonna go a little higher. God, this is tough. This is honest. It's just tough because I'm like in a 10 to 15 number radius, and it's like, well, I can be here, but um, I'm just trying to figure this out. I think I'm gonna put it here. All right, this is subject to change. I'm putting this at 34, Soto. I'm looking at it
Ooh,
close to where the Happy Time Murders is.
yeah, yeah,
It is,
yeah.
and because I was feeling lower, it's hard because again, when we're looking at comedies, and this might drop, might go up. I don't know. Um, I think just in the moment, it just made me laugh, and I just needed a laugh. Um, but I'm looking at the Happy Time Murders kind of with that crude humor too, and that's why I was kind of in this section. But then I'm looking at things in like the lower 40s. I'm like, I can see that. But I think just because I was fine with this humor, Soto, I'm fine with Bill Burr. Um, and I got what they're trying to do. And yes, because maybe in my age, but if you're one to get offended early, yeah, the same for you. I'm sorry. This is not for you. Oh, and I will say this had nothing to do with the enjoyment of the movie. I was quite surprised because I knew there's language. But obviously, all of them were just fed up with everything that's going around. So they try to go to Vegas, but they go to somewhere else. And then they end up at a strip joint. And I'm like, oh shit, there's titties on the screen. I did not expect that. So I'm going to leave that there. Because I was not all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, this is somewhere this movie was I did not expect to go, but there
Yeah.
it's here, and I do not know why. But yeah, I am at 34 because again, I'm fine with this humor. I'm fine with just making fun of society because I can take a joke. I know even when I'm in the wrong of certain things, and it's okay to know that you're in the wrong. It's the people who can't.
We used to.
Yeah,
We used to do that all the time. Like, that it used to be much more prevalent, but it's a different time.
yeah, because now it's just like it's different. They people just think they're right and everything's going on. So yeah, this definitely made me laugh. And it's something I needed. Overall, like I said, though, unfortunately, it's one of those things. Like I said, in 5 years, I probably will forget about it. It's not going to have a lasting impact on me, but that doesn't make it bad. It's just
Mhm.
it just is what it is. So, like I said, if I when I revisit this, this might go down or up. I don't know. Because before our final episode, I will look at this list one last time and make it final, just like you probably will. But right now, I'm feeling it. I think it was just I was just in an enjoyable mood. So that's where I'm at with Old Dads. My 100th
Okay.
fucking movie this year, Soto.
Wow.
100.
You did it. You did it.
And I still got to go. I still got to go. But that's the last movie I saw
Boom.
this week, Soto. What's the second and last movie that you saw this week?
Well, I actually saw a comedy as well.
Ooh.
Um, because I was up against it. I was making dinner and I told Sarah, I was like, you make dinner. I was like, I'll make dinner. I was like, your only job is you pick a movie. And she was like, does that mean I get to pick any movie? And I was like, yes, any movie. I don't care what it is. Just pick a fucking movie. Because I need to do my homework. So the movie that she picked was a movie called Friendship, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. Chad, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is you. I don't think you like this kind of comedy. I think you would hate this movie. It's a
I do like Paul
cringe
Rudd.
kind of a comedy.
It's a what
What? How
kind
do
of
you feel
comedy? I'm
about
sorry.
cringe comedy?
Oh, cringe?
Cringe,
Oh, no, no. Oh, God.
like awkward.
It. I've said this quite some time. I'm not big on cringe. And I will just, real quick, if you remember, I saw um, Kind of Pregnant, which is very much cringe. And that is very low on my
Yeah.
list. That I think it grew a little. It went high. It's 85th. I had to quickly look it up. Yeah, no, cringe is not for me usually. So, anyhow,
Well, I don't know if it's cringe, but it's like awkward. Like, so this guy Tim Robinson, this comedian, I'm sure you've seen his like clips on TikTok and everything like
I
that.
recognize the face.
He's
Yeah.
the guy. He's the guy that's like, you sure about that? You sure about that? Or he orders
I
500
ain't done
like
shit.
tacos. Right. It's right. Exactly. That's that guy. And but so this is his movie with Paul Rudd, and the premise of the movie is, he's a pretty normal guy. He's just recovering, like his wife is recovering from, I believe, cancer, because the movie opens up with like one of those cancer support like things, and he's there with her, and she's like, I just want to know, like, I've been having trouble orgasming and stuff like that. And then he like, he's sitting right next to her holding her hand. Then he looks at the group and he's like, I just want everybody to know that I'm orgasming just fine. Uh, and like, so that's how it starts. And he's just like a basic guy. And then somebody moves in next to him, and he keeps getting the incorrect packages delivered to his house. And so he goes over and he meets Paul Rudd's character, who Paul Rudd is this really kind of cool guy. He's Paul Rudd, and he's a weatherman. And so, through a series of circumstances, like, they end up becoming friends and doing things and all that stuff. And then, dude, this movie devolves into such a fucking fever dream that it's difficult for me to describe what the rest of the movie is like after the setup that I just gave you. And I know you're probably like, what are you talking about? That seems like a pretty basic setup. No, it is, but then it devolves into like, Tim Robinson's character, like taking it, like not having good boundaries. But then, like, I kept thinking throughout this entire movie that he was having like a psychotic breakdown, and what I was watching was not real.
Okay.
It was like, it was that weird. Like, I didn't understand what was happening. Like, it was like there were parts that were definitely really funny. But I didn't know. I started questioning what the fuck was real and what the fuck wasn't real. And the way it goes out, it's like so strange. This one scene that I'm sure you've seen on TikTok, but like he's just like at the end of his rope, his life is falling apart, and he ends up going to the guy who sells him cell phones, and he asks him for drugs because earlier in the movie the guy was like, "Yeah, I'll give you drugs," and he's like, "I need whatever you got," and the guy's like, "All right, I've got this toad, and if you lick it, it's like $100." And you're gonna trip balls, you're gonna go to outer space, you're gonna touch God, right? I'm gonna leave you in this back room, I'm gonna go on my lunch break, lick this toad, I'm gonna turn off the lights, and just get ready to have your fucking mind blown, right? And he's like, okay, and he's like laying down on the back office of this like cell phone place, and he closes his eyes. His trip is about to start. Chad, his trip is just him at Subway ordering a Subway sandwich in the most normal way possible. And like Paul Rudd is like the guy working behind the counter. And he's like, oh, okay. And what kind of bread would you like? He's like, Italian herb. He's like, okay. He's like, normal, not toasted as usual. And he's like, no, toasted. And it's just like a normal scene of him ordering at Subway, but that's like what the funny part is. And then he just wakes up from his trip and he's like, I was fucking ripped off. I didn't touch God. I went to Subway. He's like, this was not at all what I paid for. He's like, I had the most normal, like, fucking hallucination you could ever have. And so, like, that kind of shit is really funny. Like, but it's like in a movie that's just fucking weird. And like, I will say that I did enjoy this movie, but it was one of the weirdest fucking movies I've ever seen, at least this year. I have not seen a movie that was this weird. Like the guy Tim Robinson, this is his like sense of humor. It's fucking strange. Paul Rudd must have read this script and been like, I totally get this. This is fucking hilarious. Cause like he was great in it too. But it was the weirdest movie that I've seen this year that I didn't like. I laughed, which I guess is what you're supposed to do in a comedy.
Yes.
And so that was fine. I'll send you the TikTok after this too to show you that scene with the subway because it is kind of weirdly funny. But it does explain the movie. But it just devolves. There's like, and the end scene is just fucking strange. And it's both the substance and friendship end. Like their credit scene is the title of the movie. Are you familiar with this behavior where it's like the movie ends and it's like the substance, and it's like friendship ends and it's like friendship. Um, if you're okay with a weird, awkward, like kind of fever dream movie that doesn't follow any of the rules of like what you would expect from this comedy, because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a movie with Tim Robinson and this dude, and they're just gonna get into shenanigans, right? Paul Rudd.
Mm.
It went completely against the convention of what I was expecting, um, and just went into like left field. And but again, I did laugh. So I it did its job, but man, I don't know. That this is one of the just offbeat. This guy's sense of humor is very, very strange.
And I guess that's the point. You said it yourself. You laughed at this, and
I did.
then which is okay. It might. Because again, I'm thinking. I know you said cringe, and obviously I'm not gonna have you explain the whole movie to me. But that subway trip, like
Yeah.
to me, I would find that funny as shit because it's just like, oh my god, I'm just gonna touch God. I'm gonna do this, and then it's just like I'm not gonna ask you to share any stories. I'm not gonna share, but there's times where I'm just like, wait, was that real? Because that felt real. Like
It's
that
how
just
you,
really
how you
like I know it was a dream, but everything in there
it's
it
like
felt
I just did
real.
normal thing.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell the
Okay.
story real quick, and it's a quick story. And this is just a dream, not
Yeah.
any trip of any kind. I remember visiting a Blockbuster that was out. I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but in a huge, and I've been to Illinois and Wisconsin, hence like more of an open field. And to this day, I still feel like I've been to that Blockbuster. That's real. That was not a dream. That had to have happened. That's a Blockbuster that was in the middle, like northern Illinois, where I'm just like, but yeah, there's some,
Yeah.
just like I'm like I
I had
remember
that
going there. I
too.
remember just one time I visited there. I'm like that wasn't a dream. Then I tried to remember details. I'm like I can't. Fuck, that was a dream. But no, it felt real.
Because you remember it still. That's why, because like you're supposed to forget your dream. So if a dream is hanging around, and I've had this experience as well, where you have a dream that's so vivid and so real, it sticks with you for the rest of your fucking life, and it becomes a memory. But then as time goes on, your brain is like putting that in the file cabinet of like, is this a memory or is it a dream? I don't remember. And that's how you get all fucking tripped up. But I have plenty of fucking dreams I've had just like that.
Oh, but anyhow, Soto, for your 90-second
Yeah.
movie, as you're looking at your
I had to
long
check it.
list, trying to figure out
Yeah.
where this goes, in a
Yeah.
ranking that no one cares about, just us.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
At least to the end. I don't know. Where are we putting
Um,
friendship?
Friendship is gonna go. Let's see here. I'm kind of in the late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
Kind of what I'm feeling. But I also feel like this could be in the late 20s too.
See, that's how I felt about Old Dads. I'm with you right now because I was up. Like I said, I saw 15 numbers. I'm like, this could go down here. I'm like, but this could go up here. But this could go here. It's hard.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, I liked it more than I liked this. I liked it more than I liked because there was a certain. I could appreciate the genius that went into this movie. Um, Even if it was awkward and strange. Again, dude, I it wasn't boring. I had no idea where this movie was going. Like I could not figure out for the life of me what the fuck was going to happen in this movie. I didn't know what was going on. Like I had an idea, like there was a general framework like I described. They meet each other, they're friends, and they have one hangout session and then everything just turns crazy. But like I'm pretty good at being able to predict shit like when I'm watching it. Um but I had no fucking idea what was going to happen in this movie. Certainly did I not expect how it was going to end either. Which, when I think about the end, it does make me laugh. Uh, so I'm gonna say that this movie. I'm actually gonna say this movie is number 28.
Okay. That ain't bad. Like you said,
Yeah,
you're free to revisit this at a later date if you need to. Because, dude, we probably only
and no
have
one cares. Like
we
no
only have
one
4 weeks
cares.
left.
Oh,
I mean, I know we
thank
got
you.
what 6 weeks to the end of the year, but the way we're going is we each watched, I think, two, and as long as they're not, but then our 200th movie needs to be the same because I feel like that has to happen. Like you know what I'm saying? I think the 200th needs. I don't know what we're gonna watch because we kind of already ruined our original plan of Terrifier 3, but that's okay. Um, but yeah,
It's something we neither of us have seen.
Yes, that's the other thing. I mean, we will have a discussion about this, maybe a week, just try and find it on a streaming service. Just something that neither one of us has seen, but are we going to go like
I'd
bad,
like to
like
get
to
there.
be bad, or just, that's going to be the hard part.
Uh,
But,
oh God, because it's more, 'cause it's funnier that way too. Like I'm
it
like, let's
is.
just
Well,
stupid.
Soto, what if, because I saw this on Tubi. No, I didn't watch it,
No
but I
problem.
just saw the name of it. But imagine we're like, stay tuned for the 200th movie that we saw. We make a big deal about it. Then we're like, and we are going to watch Catnado. There's a movie on Tubi called Catnado. And yes,
I'm
it
not
might, it's,
surprised.
you know the tagline? Not that you would, but it's pretty simple, Soto. Here's the tagline to Catnado. And yes, I had to look at it because I was laughing just like that. It's Sharknado, but with cats.
Yeah, I
That's it.
mean, there's no lie in that statement. I bet that tagline is beautiful in its simplicity. It's true. It's Sharknado, but this time there's cats.
So yeah, I mean, because we've seen so many, and obviously most of the popular movies throughout time, one of us has seen or both of us have seen, because obviously, so it's going to be very hard. I don't know what we'll see, but yes, the 200th movie, it's going to probably end up being something stupid like that, just because that's what we do. But you never know. We're not there yet. Um, but
It feels right. We're gonna have to discuss what terrible movie on Tubi we will finish. I mean, it feels right because it just makes fun. It just goes, you know what? All this was just so we could watch Catnado.
keep in the back of your mind, if that's where we're going, that's where we're going. But until then,
I
so
will. I will look at Tubi this weekend and because I think I still have to pick one for you.
yeah,
Um,
we both. I had one that I wanted you to watch, but it's no longer on Netflix, and I could not figure
uh,
one out that I've seen, because
yeah,
there was one I wanted you to see that I saw a few. We've talked about a few years ago.
yeah.
When it was like a old podcast when you asked like what's the newest movie I saw, or just what's the most. I forgot how, like, you saw everything. What was it? Which way? I already forget how
Oh,
that.
everything, everywhere, all at once.
Thank you. And
Yes.
it's an old video, and I saw this movie Circle, and we talked about it a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna, because that's a Chad movie. I'm like, I wanted you to see a Chad movie.
Oh, you just reminded me. I am gonna watch a Chad movie.
What movie?
I am gonna watch a
What
Chad
movie? What
movie.
movie?
Thank you for reminding me. I was drunk when I came up with this idea, but you just, oh my God, I feel like I have to write this down. I have never seen Cube. It is available for
What?
free.
Wait. All
I
right.
have never seen it.
You've never.
I've never
Okay.
seen Cube. I've never seen Cube 2 or Hypercube. I have never seen Cube. It is available. I'm gonna watch Cube.
Make sure you watch the correct one, because I know there's a Japanese version that just came out. So the 1997 one. Holy shit. Okay, there we go. Now you find a movie from. I will say that I honestly thought you've seen that. I did not
No,
realize.
I've
Um,
never seen it. I've seen it plenty of times at Blockbuster. Like I've touched it plenty of times. I've moved it to the BSI section. I
mm.
have never watched it.
Yeah, in 2021 they did a Japanese kind of remake version of it, which I watched I think last year actually. So very recent. I was like, what? Yeah, so watch it. All right. That is your movie, and you can find one for me. Obviously, unless you have one off the top of your head, you can just tell me over the weekend. So I might watch one tomorrow. I don't know. I'm off all weekend. We'll see. But usually I watch them Monday as well. So yeah,
Well, you've never watched. Have you ever watched any of the Studio Ghibli movies or Ghibli, however people say that?
the what movies? I don't even know what that is. What are we talking about?
Ghibli, like Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving
Yes,
Castle.
yes, I've seen both. I love them both. I've seen.
Okay,
Okay, I didn't know who made it. I've seen Princess Mononoke. I've seen Spirited Away. Howl's Moving Castle. From what I remember, was like I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember it being amazing. Because
okay,
that's
all right.
so a lot of those I have seen. I will tell you that right now. So if you want to try, you can find me an anime. Like I remember Steam Boy. Yeah. So
Well,
there was
have you seen the movie Flow with like the black cat?
no. I have
Okay,
not.
you're watching that.
Hold
I haven't
on.
seen it either.
At Flow,
You're watching.
FLOW. Okay. Just is it
Yes.
free? Oh, it's on Max. I gotta remember that, so I'll have to set time for the PlayStation.
Yes.
Oh, only an hour and a
Yeah.
half. We both have an hour and a half. All right, I gotta write this down because I will forget. Flow.
I got to look up Cube. I got to write Cube. I don't have my piece of paper. Cube.
Yeah, yeah.
Cube.
So because I've seen Cube. I've seen Cube 2, Hypercube, which is very bad. Cube Zero, and then yes, the remake
Cube
Cube.
Zero.
Well, that's the prequel.
Cube.
That's Basically, somehow,
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I will admit, Soto, I'm not going to say the original Cube's a masterpiece, but you got to remember '90s and independent films that it fit that era. I remember actually watching this, which I'll probably with my dad, because my dad wanted to know why I liked this a lot, and I kind of gave him an explanation, so he was curious. So we did talk about it afterwards. But yeah, I honestly
Well,
did not. I thought you have seen Cube just because it's been a blockbuster, and I think people because
never.
I think it was in the horror section, and it's not a horror
Yes.
movie. I will tell you this right now: it's not a horror movie. Horrific things might happen, but in my definition of horror, this is not a horror movie. Um,
Got you.
I could
Okay.
be wrong, but I do like it. I'll leave it. I don't want to spoil anything. So, all right,
Have you
yes,
ever seen? Just a question. Have you ever seen the movie Lady Hawk?
sounds familiar, but I don't think so. I'm googling that shit up.
Matthew Broderick, Michelle Pfeiffer. So basically, it's like the story of a knight and a woman, and they get cursed. And in the daytime, he's a wolf, and in the nighttime, she's a bird. She's a hawk,
No, I am
and
not. It does
they
not
are
look familiar to
they
me.
are they are cursed to be on opposite sides. But dude, that's like classic '80s fantasy, fucking awesome movie.
All right, maybe I'll put that
You
on
can
my
look it
future list. I'm gonna write that down because I do have a list and that
up on
is free.
Tubi as well.
Yeah, I know.
It
I
is
see
on
that
Tubi.
right here, Lady Hawk. But I will
Lady Hawk, dude.
definitely, I will definitely watch Flow. That's on
Yes,
Max.
watch that. It's
Uh,
newer too, so I'd love to hear your review on it because I have not seen it. So I'd like you to see it so you can tell me how it is.
oh, you've not seen Flow?
Nope, I haven't seen it.
Okay. All right. So you're seeing Cube. I will see Flow, and I'll keep Lady Hawk in my back pocket depending on how things go. I might see by the end of the year Doctor Sleep because Jill. We talked about that a little.
You've
So
never seen that?
nah, we never got around to it.
Oh, I
She's a
won't say
huge.
anything about it, but
She's a huge.
I definitely.
She's read it, so she kind of pretty much knows because she reads a lot of Stephen King. Then I think I
Mm,
saw it. Um, I don't know which streaming service, Netflix or Peacock or something like that. And again, it's one of those movies I just forgot. So no. So I got a list, but we're coming to the end. So next week we're gonna be episode 40. 40.
40.
And
We're in our 40s.
we are. I know the week after Thanksgiving, so we might have to record on a different week, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh my
but
God, that came up really
I
quick.
know that's what I'm saying. We're getting close because right now, like by December 11th, 12th, if we go at this pace, um, we should have 200, and you should because if you watch 2 a week, um, maybe 3
Yeah.
for the final because of our 200th movie, which maybe we just do a 200th movie special. We'll talk about that. But yeah, by the second or third week of December, this should be over. And we could honestly be ending this at the second week if you can squeeze in 3 movies. But if not, we'll have a Cat NATO 200th episode special.
Oh, sweet God, help us. All right.
All right. But anyhow, that will do it for us. Yeah, so if anyone ever actually listens to this, if you want to request a film for us, I mean, I think our movies are getting filled up. I think we both see the end and we're like, there's films that we still need to see or want to see. So
Yeah.
I will tell you, outside of our 200th film, I probably won't do another Tubi special, unless we go a different route for 200th. But by the sounds of it, I think we're gonna end up that way. Yeah, I can't like you. I just not that they might be good films, just more real films, for lack of better words. Um, because I'm going to tell you right now,
Agreed.
Soto, if you've not seen the trailer to Catnado, it possibly could be the worst movie we've seen all year.
Oh no.
I,
Okay. All right. All
possibly.
right.
I am just going by what I saw for like the 30-second trailer, I think, on Tubi or whatnot. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. I was just like, oh my God, this is bad. Because I think I hit play or just let it play out. So I don't know if that's the route we want to go. But, we got time. We got time. But I will send it to you. And if it is, it is. So anyhow, that's episode 40. Nothing more to say. Just go enjoy some good movies, people.
Is it play?